Hey folks, AJ the CEO here. We're back with a round two. I finished up some work, so I had some more time. So I'm like, hey, let's see. I know a bunch of y'all said the audio was low. I cranked it up as high as I possibly could. I'm borderline redlining over here. Richard Chalmers, thank you for becoming a member. Let's see. I'm waiting for it to catch up so I can see how the audio is going for me. Let me unmute it for half a second. Hey folks, AJ the CEO here. We're back with a round two. I finished up some work, so I have some more time. So I'm like, hey, I have my volume at 50%, and it sounds fine. Let me know how the audio is. We can try and crank it up a little bit more. I know I'm catching y'all off guard. We normally have this around like 10:15. We did have some great stuff going on. Wanted to go for a round two. And again, I don't expect this to be like how our normal stuff was. But hey, you know, like I said, we want to try something a little bit different. I got a boost of energy after this. Actually, my back is still hurting, but hey, we're here. So I'm a forego the formalities, but nah, AJ, stay the same. So folks, if you have some questions and I don't get to it, know that you can email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond. If you are not a part of the Facebook group, folks, go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer the 3 questions. You are in. Do not live stream inside the group. The group is meant to help each other. If you got a word, give it to yourself in the nicest way possible. We don't want to spam the group with live stream services and stuff. We do have specific posts when we talk about them. I am actually going to do a critique of a live stream that I have access to, and we're going to walk through that. What else? If you ever need some more help, folks, know you can book a consultation with me. Go to ajhomes.com/consultations. You have dedicated time with me, and you don't have to worry about all the other good stuff. Also, realize we are doing a giveaway, folks. Link is in the description. If you've already entered, you are good to go. But this is, again, a way for me to give back and all that other fun stuff. This is how we can help move the needle forward. It's one thing for me to share the little bit of knowledge that I got, but this is an opportunity for me to put my money where my mouth is and give an opportunity to be able to help as much as I possibly can. And I'm looking for the analytics here so I can show the live count. All right, so there we go. We're back there. That actually works. So where are we at? No, I said macro. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. All right, so right now come on, AJ, you're pressing the wrong buttons. See, we are at 65,382. Once we get to 70,000, we're going to do a giveaway that is going to be 2 $1,000 bundles. Praying and believing that the funds will be there to take care of it. Hey, we'll figure it out. So that's what we do. And just to let you know what we did earlier today, so you can see all the shenanigans I got into. I don't know if y'all remember him. Eugene used to help me with other projects. He's was getting ready to go to Norfolk State's homecoming. It's Hampton and Norfolk State's. I'm not going. But he was able to help me with the TVs. But let me show you what we did at 31st Street. We already did the video. We did move all of these up about 2 feet. So that's there. And then he also helped me with the back screens. Those 75-inch screen TVs were what originally were right here in the front. So they are the digital walls are significantly bigger from that. And man, we ended up getting a drywall lift that can go 14 feet in the air. And we were balancing that thing to get it up, got it on the hook, and then was able to crank it down, and then it latched on. Man, it was the most stressful, but we got it up there. So, what convocation am I streaming? I'm not streaming a convocation. I've never actually been asked to do that. But anyway, we're here, folks, and If you have any questions, start it off with a cue so it can help jump out. And I understand it's not going to be a lot of people here, at least, because I'm doing this kind of just off the cuff. Maybe we'll have some more people on here, so that'll be cool. And my camera is blinking. I don't know if my cable is loose or somewhere, but anyway, oh, I'm sorry. You were talking to Ashley, Anthony about the convention. My bad. But let's go ahead and do a little something that I've been meaning to do for a minute. And actually, you know what I'm going to do while I'm doing this? I'm going to go ahead and release the conference videos. All the members have access to them. I'm actually just going to go in here and make it available to everybody else early. Want y'all to get that information. And more importantly, what I'm getting ready to talk about is going to be in reference to a lot of those things. I did a talk talking about the anatomy of a church live stream. So what I want to do is diagnose and give my critiques of the live stream from Antioch, because they're streaming to my Vimeo platform. I have access to that videos and all that other fun stuff. So that is what I'm going to do. And I'm just going through here and checking off the videos to make them non-member videos and make them available to the public. So if you give me half a second, we'll do that. And again, I just want to say I appreciate y'all jumping in on here. No, this is not made for kids. And that's not what I was trying to update. I want to change visibility. There it goes. We're going to make those public, so they should be available now. But we're going to be talking about that. Mike did a great job on his stuff, talking about Bit Companion, and everybody did a bunch of great stuff. Leadership talks, biblical talks, technique talks, technology talks, a lot more on the leadership and the importance of media ministry as well, too. But let's go ahead and cut over here. And I'm going to do a little analysis of Antioch's live stream. Now, this is on Vimeo, so I should not get any issues, but I have access to the channel, so we shouldn't have that. Now, realize the importance of the live stream. I do have the audio coming in here, so I'm going to play it exactly how they're doing it. And I have an actual training with them, I think, in a couple of weeks, and we're going to be doing a refresher. So if they want to watch this, I'm going to talk about the same stuff here. And just think about this from your aspect of your live stream. Again, I don't know everything. I'm just giving my input as somebody is watching what I would do. So if I start the live stream. Now, this is a track that I made at Udio because I kept getting hit. They were still using the track that I had from Envato Elements. And even though it wasn't licensed, it was covered, what ended up happening is some scam artists started taking it and registering the file and fighting for it. And nobody was really going back behind the scenes and fighting the copyright. So I use Udio. We talked about that. Suno can do the same thing. Made a corporate track, and that's what's playing right now. So no one really owns a license to that. So if somebody tries to steal that, they're lying. So let's go ahead and skip forward a little bit. This is the countdown that they had. Now, this is one thing that they've changed that I personally do not like, and I've told them about this. So let's skip forward. In a few seconds, what they do, and I can see y'all's comments too, so if y'all ever want to chime in or you want me to look at y'all's church's live stream, we can do that as well too. I'm trying to skip forward a little bit, and I want to show. Now, I've updated the logo. This is the still same picture I took with my drone. This is everything still set up the same way. I updated the logo because Pastor Paul added a new logo. Let's skip forward some more. So what they do is they circle back to ProPresenter, and these are, I can talk for days about this. That's Pastor Paul, really cool guy. One thing that they do is they cut over to the slideshow going through the announcements through ProPresenter. They don't do video announcements like I used to do there. It's mainly slides. Pastor Paul actually makes a lot of these. So issue number one that I have with this, They cut over to this, and it's just dead silence. I didn't mute anything. They just don't play anything. They turn it on into OBS, cut over to the ATEM, kill the audio. So for 5 minutes, people are just sitting there just looking at a loop. We talked about that in The Power of Habit. Don't do that. Keeping some music or something going on in the background would be good. You just don't leave it there because there's no, if you wanted to do this, I would also put like the timer in here because this is done in ProPresenter. You can add a timer on here. I made that slide because I didn't like the still image one that they had. And let's go back and look at that. This is the slide that I made when I was sitting there. And let's jump back a couple slides here. This slide right here, this slide was actually made for social media, but when it was put into ProPresenter, it's stretched out. So it's not the right resolution as well, too. Less word. I mean, this is a good amount of words, but there are other slides that put entirely too much. This one was actually made directly in ProPresenter, so this is a good resolution, aspect ratio, size, and everything. It's not centered. I just noticed that, but I mean, that's not a big deal. So these are just one thing you really want to look out for to improve your live stream. It's like you have to realize and we talk about it a lot. Don't treat everybody that's on your live stream as a second-class citizen. Give them a good experience. So for me to just sit here in silence, seeing this stuff loop over and over again, I have no idea how much time it is until the service is going to start. Nothing. It is very simple to cut in here and in this slideshow, put the counter right here at the bottom. That's just something. You can also play music if you want to. If you really wanted to in that scene, should we go all the way in? I think we will. Let's go all the way in on this thing. And let's actually show you. Let me cut back real quick. I'm going to remote in to the presentation system. And I'm just going to give some suggestions on how I would do that. And then definitely, Dre, can you look at Fellowship, Church of God, and tell us if we need to make a change? Yes, I will look at that here in a second. Let me log into here. And again, I am using Chrome Remote Desktop. Great free tool. And if I can get over here so I can get my one monitor. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. And let's just show you some of the ways that we can improve this. We haven't even gone anywhere yet. All we're doing is our countdown. You win and lose your audience based on how you treat them from when they first see your live stream, all right? Can you show us how to put the slide? Yep, that is what I'm getting ready to do right now. So what I have is a second screen that runs NDI, and that sends the counter over to OBS. And we've shown that how to do that. I have video going over that. So right now, this is our timer, and I have it automatically set as a macro. Once they open up ProPresenter, it counts down to the 10 o'clock service. So it's already going on right now. So what you could do in this is a couple of things. You could alter all of this and then just have that slide going, that counter going in the entire time. So we can come in here and do an edit over everything, add a text field. And I personally wouldn't do it like this, to be quite honest. Well, let me show you how I would actually do it. That's how I would do it. First, what I would do is actually put a shape here. I would put this at the bottom. And it doesn't have to be super, super big. I want it to be up and out of the way. And I'm going to change that background. I'll change it to black. And I believe you can actually do an update in ProPresenter to send NDI stuff. I'm not familiar with that, so I'm not going to try and do that right now. So I'm going to slide this up and make it a little bit bigger, something like that. And there's my text. And I need to bring this text up to the front. We can right click on it, and I want to bring to front. So it's going to be at the utmost here. So I'll put this right here and say service count down. Something real simple, right? And let's slide this over here. And I guess I should have put that there. Then we're going to make another text field. We're going to scoot that down here to get in line. I like to change this to a digital font. Just makes it stand out a little bit gooder, a little bit better, mo gooder, whichever one you want to go with. I will use that one right there, and that is bold. Now we're going to link this. So we're going to click on this and check off linked text. And let me turn on my highlighter so y'all can see as well. Oh, you can't see it because of here. Hold on. There it goes. I had to move it off a screen. So we're going to click on link text, and I'm going to link it to my timer, and that's our server start timer. And I don't need hours. I don't need the frames. And there's our time right there. So I'll scoot it a little bit closer right here. Now, the other thing I want to do, let me turn off this highlighter because sometimes it gets in the way. What I want to do is group all of this together. And I thought there was a group. Okay, I might be missing it. But I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And then I'm going to propagate that and put that everywhere on every slide. And of course, it doesn't move it the way I need it to. That would be too easy. All right, put it in a different order. So I just got to move this center back. We're going to shrink this slide just a little bit. And, you know, I would go through stuff like this. And I go, yeah, that makes it a lot of different work. But again, if you make it with the mindset that you have this at the very beginning and you are cognizant of how you're actually having this stuff being displayed when you make your slides and your announcements and stuff like this, it won't take that long. We're doing this after the fact. And I really should bring up y'all's thing so it shows up all the time. Hold on one second. How can I do this in, all right, let's switch back to this. I need to change the position of, hold on. I'm going to add a new text, social text here. All right, I have it set to automatically come up. Let's see. Let me bring up yours, Reverend Richard, excuse me. All right, good. It's going to pop up down here. So it should be automatic for right now, but we can always circle back from there. So again, when you do this, be mindful of how you set this stuff up, and it just saves you in the future. So we're going to, as you can see, this has been stretched out. So what I would really do, and I think there is a tool that can remake this stuff in different aspects. So again, this was mainly meant more for social media. So that's why it's all stretched out like this. And because that text is linked, and I think I did a somewhat of a decent job because all of this is video in the background. So I can actually slide all my stuff up. I'm just going to get rid of the board right there, and not that one, the other one. See, I made this all in ProPresenter, so that made it a lot easier for me to do. So I'll just move this here, then move my clock. I hate when it does this. It keeps the box too big, and it makes it hard to select what I want to select. So we'll put that over there, and we put our timer here. And, well, I hope you get the concept. Kind of what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, no, because I don't want to mess them up, because this is their live system right now. All right, so if I come in here right now, and now we go through that slideshow, and again, I need to cut over to the second screen so you can see it. Screen number 2. And see, now you have your countdown that's going to stay the entire time. That is how I would do that. So now you can still do the announcements, but people can still see when the service is going to start. And the other thing that I would do inside of this while we're doing this, let me disconnect from here and let me connect to the live streaming system. What I would do to make this work easier for them, and we're just going to make a scene for OBS to make this change if they want to do this. And I might be there Sunday. They have a guest choir. The local high school choir is actually singing. So I might be there because I made some changes to the audio system. Brother Art, hello, hello. And I got y'all. If y'all have questions, start it off with Q. And after this, I'm going to go look at Definitely Dre. So is that Friendship COG on YouTube? If that is, that's what I will look at. So in here for the live stream, this was the testing one that I did earlier in our live stream. So this is that scene right there that's playing that music. So normally they cut over here to streaming, and then they just disable the sound. What I would do is kind of something a little bit different. I would make another scene, and I would just say pre-announcements, right? I would add the live streaming scene here, or you could actually send it over NDI if you really wanted to do that. Where's my scene? Yeah, so we'll select scene. Which scene are we going to use? Because it just carries everything over. I would do my streaming scene inside of here, right? And let's move this up. And then what I would do inside of this, well, no, that wouldn't work that way. I need to do this differently, because if I copy this over, it does the same thing. So what we would do is add a device. I don't want to use the same one because I'm making some setting changes. We're going to come in here, select the deck link. It should act as a different one. So if I mute it here, but if I go back to streaming, as you can see, it's on. So it's acting as two separate ones. The ATEM one, the regular live streaming, the audio is there. Since I made another one, this one has the audio off. And this is where I would just take the same music track that I have here, and then I would just paste that here. So now the music will stay consistent throughout this whole thing. And I need to turn this off from monitoring. That was in the example we did. So now if we want to do the slides and the ATEM isn't on, let me turn on their system right now. I need to log in to turn that on. Are you familiar with Fellowship Chicago? If so, how are they doing their pre-stream countdown? I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look at them. Give me 1 second to log in to the CASA app for Antioch so I can turn their system on, the ATEM and stuff on, that is. We only need the ATEM on. So that just got turned on. Give that a second. I just heard it. So it came on. We come over here to the ATEM software. That slide is still going on the ProPresenter system. So we're going to change this over to PC. And let's see. So there's the slides that are going, and there's our countdown going on. I think it's something going on with that extra deck link, I think it doesn't work like that. I may have made a mistake. I thought you could reference it twice. It could be, it can only be referenced once. I think that is the case. So we have to figure out, automate this to where when we go to this scene that the audio is turned off. And you can do that through the Stream Deck. And they do have a Stream Deck here. So we would add the streaming here as a reference like we did before. So we would need to kill the music coming in from the ATEM. So that would be people talking inside the sanctuary and that. So there's a trigger that you can do to turn this off. So if they want to play the announcements, now you see the announcements, you see a countdown, everything is still going on. And then when service is ready to go, we would go to streaming, and then it would actually be this. And we need to go in here. And here in the ATEM software, in the Stream Deck one, we'll go to the OBS profile, and we would make a new multi-action. So we drag that as a multi-action. And what are we going to do? First, we're going to go to the different scene. We'll bring that up as a scene. What scene are we going to? It's just activated the OBS. We're going to go to pre-announcements. That's the scene we're going to go to. What's the next thing we're going to do? We're also going to turn off audio. And where is that at? I think it's audio mixer. Yeah, so here from the source, what we would do is the ATEM, we would toggle, we would mute. We would mute it. So when we go to it, boom, it goes to the scene, music is playing, but the sound in the sanctuary is off. We would make the same, another multi-action again, that when we go back to live streaming, it would unmute this, and so you can hear the sanctuary. That's how I would do that. All right, so that's how I would do that, and I need to make sure I undo a lot of this stuff because they're going to be spazzing out tomorrow. So let me turn off their ATEM, set that to reboot. We're going to go back to their presentation. And then we need to go to the right monitor. That would be monitor number 1. And we stop that, close that, get it out of here. And Anthony, I have started putting free AVG antivirus on the computers as well too, because people be doing some silly stuff. So we've had to do that. All right. So I think we're back here. So now let me go through a couple of things that y'all have asked. So we got that. So Techie Terra, did that answer your question? And Brandon Forte, thank you for dropping a bunch of videos today. I'll be watching them all. Hey, you are welcome. I need to make sure I got all of the ones from the conference made public now. Hey, AJ, I wanted to send a written message or heads up to a private monitor, different output on stage to the pastor and the choir through OBS. Is that possible? A private one, what is it going to show? Because inside of OBS, you can send if you're in stage mode, studio mode, you can send the preview or the program, but you just have to be mindful of that. You also could send something over NDI if you really wanted to, but what do you want that to be displayed? And then we can circle back to answer that for you. All right, so you said on YouTube. So let me close this out, and we'll come back to Antioch's suggestions. So let's go to the YouTubes. Obviously, it is going to be muted so that I don't get in the trouble. And we're going to do a /@ friendship COG. Whoop, we got to kill the audio. We can't do that. All right, so we are right here. So let's see. Let's go full screen. Let's go to their live. I do like, obviously this is edited. This is a service. See, that's their countdown. And we're going to jump to this because this one's good. Hold on, let me mute this. First, I ain't even get into that with Antioch yet. What do y'all see right there? Chapters. So that's their countdown and intro. Let's speed this up a little bit. That way I can come here after the fact and I can jump to exactly what I want. Now, obviously they don't have a countdown in here, even though it says countdown. It might speed up. I don't know. It doesn't look like the countdown is very long because the service starts within 1 minute. All right, so it cuts over to a slide. Oh, that's silence. There's no music there. That's one thing I personally don't like, but it looks like they start right up. So that's like 15 seconds. So it cuts right into the service. All right. I do like the fact that they have the chapter so I can jump to each part. And I'll get to your question as well too. So that's welcome to service. I was going to say, what's that, Jazz? That's a recommended one. So I want to be very mindful of that. I do have it sped up. Hopefully that won't get me nothing right here. Plus it's going to be muted as well too. So I saw that I think that looks like the OBS lower thirds. Let me see how it comes on. They do have, no, that looks like that's, okay, and it pulled out from an animation standpoint. I don't know which one that actually is. So let's cut back over here some more. And that's still scripture and prayer. Let's see how that goes. I don't know if they're doing music.
The Lord is the strength of my life. From whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Though a host encamped all against me. All right, so they do have lower thirds going back. Now, I mean, the only thing I said at the beginning is I would have liked a countdown, but they're I don't know if they're editing it or not, but their intro was exactly 60 seconds. So if they start on time, hey, that's cool. And look at the title that they got. Yeah, they got the name in here. This is my season, part 2, mastering my season. I would like that to be like an actual answer to a question. What's the question is answering that you can drive more people to. But again, liking what it is so far. Camera's lighting changed a little bit. It got a little warmer, a little orange, but I mean, that ain't nothing. Obviously, that's another camera cutting over to the congregation. It's always good to cut over to different shots to keep everybody's attention going on. You're cutting over to the congregation, which is good. Different shot, going back and forth. You want to change it up a couple of times just to keep people's attention. All right, so we're at announcements. I wonder how they do announcements. All right, so they're still in the moment right there. Now, you see that right there? They had the same thing. That announcement looked like it was more for social media, but the trick that you normally do is you take that same slide, blow it out, bigger behind it, and fade it out. You'll see that on TikTok and Instagram and other stuff like that. All right, so that was made full screen, so that's cool. There you go, it's right there. So you see that? It's the same image, but it's just blown out to fill out the full screen, and then it's just blurred. I mean, that's fine. Just have it, because if you didn't have that, then you would have black bars on either side from that. Let's skip forward a little bit more. Could we have a Sunday vlog of a media minister if there hasn't been done? I haven't done it in a while. I could see about one of them. The main thing is it gets hard to record when you have to run around and do a lot of stuff. I'll see if we can do something with that. Let's skip forward. Pastoral reflections, offering. How do they handle offering?
Amen. We worship the Lord. We worship Him in our tithes and in our offering. We put you get your very best gift in your hand.
Your online giving information. They're using Givelify, Cash App. All right, man.
All right now. All right. So got a little director box there. Okay. I'm just skipping forward here. Call of salvation. See, camera's tracking with them. I don't know if that's a PTZ or that's a man one. I also have a baby dedication. One thing I would say about, I don't know about them. I don't know what state you're in. Most of the time you need to, it's highly recommended that you get written consent to have children on there, because we've had people that are in, child services and stuff. Sometimes some bad parents are monitoring to find where their kids are. So you got to be mindful that you get the parents' permission before you show their face, anything like that. So just be mindful of that. That, I know in Virginia we need to do stuff like that. I don't know if that's everywhere else. Really like that. I mean, it's really cool. The only thing I would say is that countdown at the beginning, but it's so short. It's not, I don't think that's an issue, but thank you for that. That's really cool. Let me go through here. Got that. Fellowship Chicago. Is that the same one that I'm looking at? Let's go back over here real quick. And let's do a deep dive into their stuff. Let's go into the about. Is this filled out? All right, this is actually, oh, that's in Nashville. I want to see, do they have where we can find them? Okay, yeah, it is. Nashville, Tennessee. Buena Vista Peak. So always put your information. If it's your church, have your address. What if I see your stuff and I'm like, man, that's great. I want to find out what that church is. And I go to your about and ain't nothing about you. Fill the stuff out so that way people can find out more about you. So good. So good thing. You have the chapters. It jumps immediately to what you want to do. I would prefer a countdown, but it's so short. So that's fine. For that, but be mindful, know your audience, know the stuff. You have seconds that can gain or lose people's attention. That's what that book, The Power of Habit, is always talking about. Keep people engaged, keep their senses engaged. So even if the countdown was 60 seconds, I don't think that would hurt, because you now have actively something that I can follow to know when you're getting ready to start. And keep music as much as possible in that situation. It's an audio cue to get everybody to stay engaged. And you said, let me look at this, Fellowship Chicago. Let me see if I can find them. Let me know, is this them? I would assume that is, but you're saying you wanted to know about their countdown. The other thing you notice that they had their most recent service as their featured video. So this one is referenced from 8 months ago. Not a big problem if that's something good. And man, they got their stuff scheduled out. Wow. So this December 17th, the 10th, the 3rd. I wonder how they had that. They must have manually scheduled that out. Now, the one thing I will say, this kind of makes it difficult for you to jump to what you want to see, because all of these are upcoming and the thumbnail is exactly the same. Celebrating the life of, so that looks like a funeral, refuel. This is really hard. This is really hard. That's at 1:15, 10:45, 8 o'clock. So I if anything, I would kind of change this up a little bit just to make it easier for me to know which one is which. That's just my personal opinion. But that's a funeral, so I don't want to go to that one. Let's see. Really like humongous countdown. Cool. So let's see. No music though. Let's skip forward a little bit. That sounds like that's the actual band playing. I always found it interesting when churches use the digital wall and it's just that smaller part. I think that's interesting. But that countdown looks like that could easily be made as well too. So really, really cool. Let's see. All right. Singing have the lower thirds. They actually have a logo inside of that. I think that's really cool. Yeah, but Antonio, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, that looks like that can be made as well too. It's just a static image and they just have the counter just blown out. So that's really doable as well too. All right. So let's see. Let's cut over to see what other questions y'all got. It seems to be a video they produce. Okay. Aken. And I need to switch this over when I'm doing these. Did I pick the right one? Yeah, there we go. What PTZ camera do you recommend that supports auto tracking? Prices ranging from $0 to $2,000. I mean, the PTZ Optics Move is good. That's going to get you sub 1,000. The Famaco that I got over here, that one is AI tracking. That one is a 4K one camera. The PTZ Optics right here, that's just 1080p. But this one is 4K. That one goes for around $1,400. The BZB gear that I have behind me, yeah, that one that's all over to the left. I don't have the audio tracking on for that one right now. That one I think was going for around like $1,800 at the time. And I need to turn off the auto posting for right now, so I can go back there. Any one of them will work good. Let me be quite honest. I haven't had a chance to actually put it inside of a service to really get it going. I did do the BZB Gear one a long time ago when I had it installed at Signs and Wonders. But again, that was just me and my daughter walking around. I need to put it in a place where I can play around with it, but then some people don't like new stuff. So I don't want to catch everybody off guard with that. But that's what I would go for. Those are the ones I've personally used. If you want to go from price, the PTZ Optics Move SE, that's 1080p. That is the least expensive one. Then it's the Famaco that I got over here. That's a 4K one that also has auto tracking. And the BZB Gear that's behind me, that's 18. But it's been software based. So even the AVCans E20s that are $400 PTZs, they have AI tracking in there as well too. So, and most of them are software driven. They don't have any special chips for AI yet in those. So you kind of got the same type of thing. DeHaggy 1980. Speaking of lighting, I have an issue with my stage lighting and PTZ camera settings. What are your thoughts about fixing it? Kind of need an example of it, but most of the time, if you haven't made any changes, I would go into your PTZ and set the auto white balance, adjust the intensity of that. Most of the time, it's still set at high, play around with medium and low, as well as your exposure. And then if you don't like that, you always could pull out a white card, and most of the cameras have a white balance where you hold up a card and adjust the lighting based off of that. And you do that kind of at the same time as your sound checking. You go through it, or you want to be fancy. If you had some high-end cameras or even the PTZs, you could do this like I'm using my Blackmagic ones, and I can color balance this live. So like right now, I could come in here and I could play around with my brightness inside of this. I can make me look super red if I want to. I can do, we can add some more green in here, add some more blue. We can do all of that color balancing live if you have Blackmagic cameras, but that same stuff can be dialed in through your PTZ, through the web page. But the first thing I would do is probably turn down your auto white balance and your exposure, or set your exposure to different settings and play around with those to see which one works best for you. Tag Productions, outside of adding a Sunday vlog, we have a consent and disclosure for parents of publication of minors, whether they can be photographed. Great. Awesome. Yeah, I got you, Antonio. Tamara Brown. Can you show how to blow up a social media post and blur out the background so that it can be shown? Sure. So let's see if I can. I'll use actually one of mine because most of the ones that I have on Canva are meant for social media. So this is how I would do this. So say like last week when I had to cancel my live stream, I'm going to do this in Photoshop, but you can also do it in Photo P, which is free. It's kind of like an off-brand Photoshop, or you can actually do it in Canva. I'll do it in both of these. So first, I'm going to download this, and we're going to make a new one, and we're going to do the aspect ratio. I always just do desktop wallpaper, 1920 by 1080 or 16 by 9 aspect ratio. And we'll go ahead and download the live stream here. So one thing you could do is we would just blow this whole thing up here. And see, this one is actually doing it a little bit different than I want, but the concept is still the same. So I'd blow this up, and then we'll put some effects on here, and they've changed where the effects are. Where are they at? Edit, not that one. All right, so we want to do effects blur. Crank that intensity up. I'll just do the whole image. So see, now I got it blurred out like that. And that works good for me. So it's all blurred out. And then we're just going to add the image again. We'll let it take up top and bottom like that. Make it a little bit wider. And see, now I don't have any black bars. That's the easiest way to do that. And it's honestly the exact same way you would do it inside of Photoshop or Photo P. It's the same one. So if I open up here, and while I'm doing that, Brian, how you doing? Richard, while I'm opening up Photoshop, what do you think of getting the audio from a pass-through of a monitor? I mean, I wouldn't think it's a problem, but just realize every time you add a device, it adds a little bit of latency on there, but I don't think it should be that big of a deal. So here in Photoshop, we would literally just do the exact same thing. I am going to do my 16 by 9 or 1920 by 1080 there. I would bring over my image here. Let's transform it a little bit. And we're going to make it a little bit bigger so that it fills up like that. We do the same thing again. Paste it on a different layer. I'm going to hide the top layer. I'm on my bottom one. We're going to transform that. And let's make it bigger to fill up the whole thing. Just like that. We're going to go to our filters. We're going to add a blur. I'm going to do a Gaussian blur. I am going to crank up how much of a blur it's going to be. Then we just turn that layer back on. There we go. So if I turn off my extras, gives you kind of the same thing. Real simple. You can do the same thing with video. So sometimes when people send me vertical video, I copy that video, put it in the background, fill up the entire frame, make it blurred, put the other video in the center. So you'll see everything move. I've done that a couple of times when I use my phone or anything like that in video. So works very, very well. So folks, while I'm doing that, I haven't asked, but please make sure you like this video. It helps push it out to the algorithm so more people can see it and we can help out more people. So I would greatly appreciate that. Let's see. Now let's go on back here and let's work on some more dissection of Antioch stuff. Where's my video? So again, let's take off the tips that we got from the other one. The other video that we saw from Fellowship, and I got to sneeze. Ooh, excuse me. What I would do inside of this is we add some audio, or we come in here and edit this, and we got, so it cut back over here, but it's still silent right now. It cuts over to the choir the male chorus was singing. I have no idea why the video is paused. Still never liked those lights being right there because they're in the way of the camera. And I don't know. One thing I would say, and I'm working on them, nobody is listening to the live stream audio and mixing it. From here, I would turn up the drums, but actually the drum mics are actually broke. I noticed that the other day. I would turn up the drums a little bit more because I hear a very faint hi-hat. And that's more of the audio type of thing because you want it to be a good experience. Also, I'm working with the choir as well, too. See, there's a hanging mic right here. There's another one right here, and then there's another one right here. The choir is still having COVID type of mindset of in their placement. So they're not leveraging the mics that actually help. Everybody is looking towards Reverend McLean, who's directing them, and she's playing. And they're not leveraging any of the mics so that they can do it, and it's unbalanced. Almost everybody is right here under this high, this speaker. Taurus is probably the strongest singer out of all of them, and I know he's going to easily drown them all out if he's here, but then all these other mics are not being used. You can stretch them out and let the mics enhance the choir to bring them up. If some people are weaker singers, you can use that mic to enhance it. And other thing I would honestly do, put some lower thirds up here. It's like you put your people up here. Why not put up the choir?
Leading us here. We simply ask, oh God, that you would.
Now, Pastor Paul's mic, I actually have some effects on that one. Has a little reverb on it, very light on there, but that sounds a little bit different inside the house. You don't hear it on the live stream.
Your way. And we pray, oh God, that we'll make sure that we give you all the glory.
All right. So that was the wide shot. They moved the drums on the floor. I don't like that. But the other thing, like I said, we would make some chapters throughout this whole thing.
As we've been hearing, as we go into the last 2 weeks.
See, the other thing I would do right here is Monica, she's making an announcement as a trustee. She probably sounds perfectly fine inside the sanctuary, but that's why somebody has to be actively listening to the live stream to boost up that audio as well too. So that would be one thing that I would do as well as this. And this is really, it's hard to teach people audio if they don't know what they're listening for. Like when I listen to this, if I go back here to the choir, Lord, oh my Lord, and I promise him that what I have an issue with this, I hear more Pastor Paul than anybody else in the choir. And there's no reason why the pastor should be drowning out everybody. I would turn the keys up just a little bit. If everybody was distributed under the hanging mics, it should sound like it's a choir, not a bunch of people down the hallway, down the street, yelling, singing. That was what I would do to enhance that. Is there a way to get Photoshop for free? No. What I would suggest is you use Photop, which is the same thing. You just go to photop.com and it's free. It's right there. You could do the exact same stuff. So if I open here in a new project, I do it 1920 by 1080. I want the background to be, I'll just say transparent. I create that. If I bring my image in here, there we go. I'd resize it the same way. I have a different layer. I'd add a new layer. Bring that image in again. Crank it up. I'd crank it all the way up so I can fill up the whole thing. Bring it down here. And then we go to our filter, we go to blur, we go to Gaussian blur, crank it up the same way. Okay, move that layer down. Bring that layer up. And we just made the same thing, and it's completely free. This can open up Photoshop files, and it can save as Photoshop. So there's save as a PSD. That's the same format as Photoshop. So if I save this, and I save it to my desktop. And then I go back into actual Photoshop and I open up that same file. There it is. Works the same way. You can barely tell the difference, but it's mainly just in where I position the background image. Same thing, photop.com, completely free. Steve, hey, thank you, sir. The reviews be on point, but brutal. Hey, want to be honest. I mean, I don't want to just tell you, this is this. You got to think. We have to, when we sit and do our live streams, we need to stop thinking like everybody watching is a saved and sanctified Christian who's been in church their entire life. Our live stream is not catered to the people who are not in attendance this Sunday or this Saturday or whatever day that you have a service. Your live stream is catered to anybody who can come by. So I'm just going to do this randomly. And this is going to be dangerous because I actually went through and started purging a bunch of channels that I don't watch anymore. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to type something. I'm just going to say church live stream. Somebody's live streaming right now. What did I tell you? Somebody's streaming right now. So if we cut them,
they don't know the grace you carry.
And that camera was serious. Somebody is running around here doing some praise reports, and that looks like it's a gimbal or somebody is running around with that camera, and that was very random for me to jump to. Let me jump to somebody else's. Not knocking that one, but let me come in here.
And I'm confident I'll see it again and again.
I would heavily balance that out. I hear a whole lot more bass than anything, but let me rewind back to the beginning and let's see how this works. I like that intro slide. So music is going on, and I gotta be real careful with the stuff. Let me look through the chat. We haven't talked about it as well too. Healing of teeth issues and gums. Okay, I don't know if people are being serious or they got people up here acting up. But I mean, it is 6,723 people that are watching right now, and this started 2 hours ago. So they obviously is doing something. Oasis Church, who is that?
It was a difficult process. There was a lot of things we were trying to do, but I knew in my heart the Lord was saying it's not time.
There's an echo on that. I don't know if that's an effect. I think it is.
And Amanda had a dream.
Okay. So the idea is I'm looking at this from a standpoint of if I just come across this, is it going to cater to me? So first off, I do see words up here. So if they're singing going on, I can sing along with them as well too. Wow. Very huge. I like the blue. I love blue. And then they have their 2 digital walls right there that are actually on the floor. That would probably be so easy to set up instead of hanging it on the walls. Now, they just have the live chat that's going on because obviously they don't have any comments going on yet. Man, they got a violin, a guitar, those LEDs right there. And they have floor lighting going on as well, too. I was going to say, where is this at? Because those plugs don't look the same. Let's go to their about. Oh, they're in Ohio. Okay. I was going to say, I thought it was Europe at first because of the plugs. Oh, that plug looked different. All right. And they got the left and right. Yay, coming in from their keys. Is she playing?
Let the redeemed of the Lord say so.
All right. So what type of camera is that? That looks like a Blackmagic Pocket. Yeah, that's actually the Blackmagic Studio Camera 4K. Because I can tell because it has the, what's that light called? Tally light right there. and it has the SDI outs right there, and it has the big screen. So those are Blackmagic cameras that they have right there. Really cool. Can't tell anything else from what was going on there. I mean, that's 2 cameras right there. That's a tight shot. They had a side shot as well too. That looks like they have the X32 or the Midas, because that is the P16 that I saw right there for the musicians. And there's their board right there. And obviously, it won't let me zoom in on the video. But we're looking at the board right there. I can't tell what type of board that is. It looks like it's an X32 because of the colors and the console right there. But really, really cool. But again, I don't want to be stuck on the tech. The idea is we want to look at services and how they're catered. So that's live. Let's go look at one of their previous services and just see how they're doing. All right. So first, this is what I do notice. Look at the video. That is 46 minutes. Anointed for battle. Activate your authority. This is not the entire service. They are editing out the live service. So you have live. You can go back here and watch, and they still cut these up too. All right, now this is a 4-hour one. Unless their entire service is that long. See, this one has a countdown right there at the top. Service begins, but where do they start at? There's a countdown. So it does have a clock. So it goes, I don't know if worship is already going on.
We welcome you, Holy Spirit.
Yeah, they must previously filmed during our services. So they're cutting parts of this out and playing it back. The other thing is leveraging your channel to where, again, you want to be able to get right to it. Reverend Richard, I'm going to pick on you because you're the one that I see right here. You might have a great service, but are you catering it and wanting to have everybody be held hostage to watch your entire service? Now, putting chapters helps people jump to exactly what they want, or you put in a little bit more effort, have multiple doors of entry. If you want to watch the entire live stream, hey, let that be up. You want it to have a curated version of it where you edit out a bunch of stuff and say you do 5 songs and you cut it down to just this, cut the music by itself. But I also highly recommend that you do nothing but the sermon by itself. That way, some people don't want to listen to music. Some people do. Some people don't want to go through the offering, the scripture. They just want to get to the word. Give them what they're wanting. Don't force them to like what you want. Give them what's going to be catered. It's just like with a store. You have an aisle with candy, but when you go to checkout, there's candy right there. You give multiple people any way that they want. If they want to walk through and see all the candy, they can. Or they can be like, it's an afterthought. These are the best-selling candies that are right there at the checkout lane. You can do that. So, hey, for our church channel, you go to live, curate your page as well. If we go back here to home, let's see, is it curated? They have the podcast right there, Beyond the Pulpit. I love that. Recent messages, Healing Summit for you. That's something YouTube does. Midweek online. They've curated it. They have a subscribe. That's different. I didn't know that you can move that or you can add another one. That's new. I didn't know that you could do that. Oh, no, that's another channel. I didn't know you could do that. But see, they've curated it and they have it set up for you to jump to different stuff. Now, if I go to anybody else's other page, is it just, you just throw everything up there? They also have descriptions under their stuff, not under the recent messages, but here. We're excited to bring to you a brand new way that you can connect with us here at Oasis. Beyond our Sunday morning and Wednesday night services, we bring you interviews from Beyond the Pulpit. I like that. So it gives you an option to do more things. Just don't do the easy thing of live streaming. We talked about this. Make podcasts, do other type of videos, other things that can cater to other people. These are like 15, 18 minutes. It's a podcast. I can just listen to the audio or I can sit down and watch the whole thing. Whatever podcast they have. So that's the one that they have, 4 episodes. So it looks like they just recently started this. The first one was about a month ago. So again, anybody can start. It's not like, oh my God, they have thousands of these. No, they just started. Any of y'all can do that. All right. So let's see. Who else is out there? Y'all have any other stuff for us to check out? We were doing something new this time around. And again, I appreciate y'all being here. And how long have we been going? We've been going for an hour and 15 minutes. Let's get this. I see this other one that you got. I was scared for a second, but we do edit video for YouTube, sermons, Bible study. See, that's all the thing. The idea is getting on to your live stream is one thing, but how do you perfect it? There's always something else that you can do to better. Even when I just saw that, I was like, oh, I didn't know that you could do that, a call out to subscribe to other channels on your homepage. I learned something new. There's something more that we can always learn. Don't be comfortable where you're at. There's always more that you can do. It's not always about buying new stuff. It's other things that you could do. And I see everybody's talking about some good suggestions. D, good evening, D. I think we have a lot of work to do on our channel. We all do, D. We all do. C. Anderson, hello. Let me know what other questions y'all have. Like, again, if I go back over here to my channel, I would highly recommend y'all. And why is my pedal not working? Hold on. Oh, there it goes. I don't know why it hung. But if we cut back over here, let's see. We freed up a bunch of stuff. And so, like, I have mine curated on here. I need to add the new conference. Why couldn't I say that? Conference on there. So these are all the new videos that I've made available here, and the one that I was talking about, and I don't think there it is, the anatomy of a church live stream. So this is the one where we talk about the different aspects of the stuff. My book, but in a little different. People are greeted when they walked into the building, into the sanctuary. We need to do the same thing. So the concepts of what I'm talking about when I was analyzing some of the live streams, that's kind of like what we're talking about from here. So we talked about online hosts, having one-offs there, the service, merge both the audiences together, gives an opportunity to bridge people who are watching online together. So again, all of that stuff from our conference this year is now available. Monty did Ecamm Live stuff, what leadership should know about media ministry. Francisco did that. Now, we left all the bleeps and bloops and all that other stuff in here just to let y'all know we're not super professional. And because sometimes if you make your stuff look too good, some people get intimidated by that. So that's what we do in the conference. Y'all messing with me. AJ After Dark. Let's see what else we got here. Garrett. Quick question. For somebody starting out, if you are considering PTZ Optics used G2 cameras or new non like the Contigo off, I would avoid them. I would avoid that brand. Every time I've used them, I didn't have a good experience with them. If you want to start with a low budget, again, and a very good camera, because I use them personally myself, and I've installed them at quite a few ministries, and they've been very happy with them. The AVCans E20, you're starting at around like $400, and it has NDI built in. So install I'm getting ready to do, I'm getting like 4 of these, and it comes with the joystick. So we're going to put one joystick in the fellowship hall and one camera in the fellowship hall. So that joystick is going to go down there. The other one is going to be upstairs in the media. And because of all the cameras, because it was cheaper to do it in the bundle, I'm going to keep another one so that I have another joystick that will work behind here for me. But these are very great cameras. They've done an update. And this is the one I was talking about, who was asking about AI cameras. This one has an update that it can have AI as well, too. So right there, yeah, AI tracking right there. It says this one isn't in there, but I think it is as well, too. But even if you're talking about $450 for an AI camera, NDI, 20X, all that other fun stuff. that's where I would start, because when I got started, the PTZ cameras are around $1,000. To get them around like $400, that is a steal. And it gives you good image quality as well too. I will put a link in the chat if you are interested in one of those. Whenever my link wants to pop up. There we go. That's the AV Cans E20. Brian. Try something new in Canva. Created a billboard that aligns with announcements being read by the pastor. AJ sent the link to your email. Thank you, sir. Let me open that up and let's see. Now, I have a meeting tomorrow. I have not gotten it. Oh, it's still sending and receiving. There you go. I got you.
Our pink out sun.
All right, so Brian sent me this link. I'm going to mute this. So that's slick. So, Brian, how are you displaying this? Is this a DSK? This going through OBS? How are you displaying this on top of that? And look at that. Got them chapters right there as well too. Even got sermon point chapters. That's what I'm talking about. And then you got a shot going to the band. All right. Let's see what they got.
Of course.
All right, I gotta stop. But all right, hey, that's a cool outro. To let the band just go. I was getting ready to say go ham. Just go in and just have their Azamar type of worship going in. So that's cool. And I do like the fact that they have their weekly. I like that. That looks like
can be streamed every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. You can connect to the live stream via the SBCAA YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter social media pages. Please join into the chat and say good morning.
That's what I'm talking about. Love it. Love it. That's great. I really like that. Because that's what talked about in our live stream. Talks about the anatomy of a church live stream. You could just have a countdown, but at that amount of time, yes, it's nothing the matter with having a countdown, but leverage that time. Play through your announcements. People are just sitting there, you're getting them engaged, and that way, and I have a podcast that I haven't recorded. It's talking about we need to change how services are. Church services need to evolve, and you're leveraging time a little bit better. D got one for me. How long should pre-service announcements run before the live stream starts? Is it too long if it cycles 3 times? I personally think it is, but it all depends on your audience, to be quite honest. And again, also it depends on how people are doing. I would think looping through twice should be good, but even 3 times. I mean, it depends on how many announcements you have. Like Antioch, they were going through, it was just 7 slides. And they have it with a 5-second delay. So that's not going to take very long. So you can loop through quite a few times for that. But it's all in how you leverage the time. It's one thing to put a countdown and have some music. But if you have a countdown for like 15 minutes or something like that, there's so much other things that you can do at that time. We talked about that. You can have hosts that cut over live saying, hey, good morning, everybody. Look, we got 10 minutes left. I just want to be out here on person. We got Sister blah, 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 and AJ here. We just want to say thank you for joining us. And especially if you're new here to whatever ministry, Prototype Church, thank you for choosing to come along and be a part of us this Sunday. We got a few announcements that we're going through, but we're going to do a little thing different this morning. Go ahead in the chat, say this, and this, and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, you're interacting. And now people are not just watching. They're like, oh, wait a minute. I want to actually do, just like y'all are doing right now. I'm interacting with y'all, and y'all are leaving comments like D did. This is the type of thing that you could do to mix it up. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't have the technology for that. Yes, you do. You can have your phone hooked up as NDI camera. You can get one of the other cameras you got. Anything that be hooked up, you can actually have this pre-recorded if you really didn't want to have that type of interaction, but it can show up a little bit differently. Or to have it live, it is very easy to get yourself a fiber optic HDMI cable, a different, if you're using a switcher of any type, run an extension down there to another camera, a cheap camcorder or whatever, a DSLR. Almost at this point, everybody's got something. Or if you want to use Prism Live and download an NDI app and send that video over to whatever, it's possible. It does not cost an arm and a leg, and it just gives you an opportunity to do new stuff. So Brian was saying in that setup, he's using ProPresenter 7, black background, going through the A10 Mini Extreme Suite. Tweak the Luma key to remove the background. Awesome. So standard DSK type of downstream key type of integration suite. Love it. But yeah, I would just think if you're not doing some type of countdown and you're just cutting straight to, think of it as a TV production. You have some type of intro. You always start on time. If you don't have the time, I use the countdown that caters to the audience, but that countdown is also giving me a buffer to see if there are any issues that I can fix. That's why I'm using that countdown as well, too. Last thing you want to do is start your service, 60 seconds, boom, you're there, and now you have a catastrophe. You have no time to work through any issues. That's why I use it. Maybe you can crank it down to 10 minutes, possibly. So it's a bunch of things that you can do. And I just like the fact that you can have multiple features. Yeah, with DSK, Brian, can be on Luma as well, too. So Chroma, all of those. So that either one looks great. We use a 5-minute countdown timer for our sermon I made on OBS Scene that plays the announcement video with a countdown timer in the corner. Awesome. See, there's so many different ways to do it. The idea is you want to step up your production. What can you do to do it? Like another thing I like is getting away from, if I go back and help with the Antioch, I'm trying to get them to get back into making video announcements. But again, it's about trying to teach somebody that wants to take the time to do that. Because I know Pastor Paul makes a lot of that stuff. And my thought is, at least when I was in media ministry, is the media should be able to handle that stuff. And I know Pastor Paul likes doing that stuff, but I think I could be wrong. I think Pastor Paul still does that because no one has taken that off his plate so that he can focus on the other stuff. I think it should be the pastor has a vision. He communicates it in a timely fashion to the media so they can make whatever. And that's something that you don't have to worry about. Then you got it in the resolution that you got. You don't have to do all the tricks that I showed. It'll be done, in a decent fashion from the very beginning. Would you recommend ProPresenter? Well, that all depends. I personally start with worship. I start ministries off with Worship Tools Presenter because it's free and it gets them started, because most of the churches I'm working with, they don't have any type of presentation software at all. It's completely free, works almost on anything. All you need is an internet connection and, you're good to go. I think you cut your teeth on that long enough. If it doesn't meet the needs that you got, then you can jump over to something else. But again, ProPresenter is kind of easy now with a monthly fee starting off at $29. You can start off with that and see if it works for you. But either one of those is fine. I know I have a meeting. I have a consultation at 1:00, and I have some video game time that I'm about ready to get back into. But again, folks, I really appreciate y'all stopping in on a round 2 of our live stream. And I would do this more often. It all just depends on the type of energy I got. So like I said, where are we at? Yeah. So based off of this, Brian, I don't know if you saw, we finished getting these TVs up in the air. That was the first thing that we did right after the live stream. And then this is the digital walls that we finished at 31st Street Baptist Church. Moved them up. Had to do some mud and some drywall. Not drywall. Mud up the drywall and got that sanded down. So hopefully they're happy. I do need to come back because you can't see it in the shot. I did not cover up the beams that I have screwed into the wall to support that. I normally covered them up with a black laminate, cover the wood so it matches the framing of the wood. we can always come back and do that. But there we go. So let's finish off with these last two, and then I'm going to go play some PlayStation and then go to sleep. Cloud-based, did you go through any formal church production training, or did you acquire all of most of your knowledge and experience through SKH? No, I did not do any type of training. This was on-the-job training, being around other ministries, understanding and learning from production and what I've learned from YouTube, and just being a preacher's kid the entire time and just watching a lot of television and other church services and seeing how we can bridge that gap with the tech that we have. And I think that is about it, folks. So don't forget, if you're not a part of our Facebook group, go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy. We have our roundtable. If you've never been to one of our roundtables, you do not know what you're missing. I actually posted the roundtables that we did from the conference. We go in, folks. We've had moments where we've raised money for people. We've had moments where we've taken time to pray for other people. I know Steve was on there when he was having some family stuff, and we prayed for that. And again, it's not just meant to talk about technical. Most of our roundtables we're inside the castle. We have our armor off. We've been fighting all week, and we're talking to comrades about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Sometimes we have praise reports. Sometimes we're just there to lift each other up. And that's what it's about. And we talk about those things that I sometimes dabble into, but it's really not conducive for YouTube. And we, give people some privacy and give people places to talk about different things. Sometimes we get technical. Sometimes we talk about spiritual. Sometimes we talk about other stuff in general. But I would admonish you to, if you've never been to one of our roundtables, at least go to one. So that way you get a concept of what we do. And just see that this is beyond YouTube. It's beyond Facebook. We're really trying to build bridges and link different ministries together. And instead of being separated between denominations, cities, states, countries, we come together and we really see that we're more in common than some people were trying to think that we're separate. And that's mainly about it. So, again, appreciate all of y'all being here with me. At 9:12 p.m. Eastern, anything like that. So, and if you're in a different time zone, it's probably still early for y'all, but I'm getting sleepy. But that's about it, folks. Thank y'all so much. I always want to give a big shout out to Patreon and YouTube members. If you like what we do, folks, and you like how we try and educate and train media ministries all over the world. Don't care about your denomination really at all. We're here to help. If you like what we do, I don't take funding from anybody else. It's mainly my company that funds this stuff when I have leftover stuff, and great people like you see on the screen that decided to become Patreon supporters or YouTube members. Everything that y'all do comes in to help fund this ministry, to get other equipment, pay for the stuff so I can be y'all's guinea pig to know if this stuff will work great for your ministry. And that's what we do. And that also helps contribute to when we do giveaways. Majority of it comes out of my pocket, but the stuff that gives, we put that together and we buy the stuff to give away for our members and whoever our ministries to help bless them and help them move forward. So if you like what we do, consider becoming a patron or a YouTube member by going to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO or click the join button down below. No matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train media ministries all over the world. And I didn't do it last time, but realize you are important. If you weren't here, something would be missing. I want this channel to be something that you learn something, but you feel encouraged. I've had moments recently, today and other times, that I really sit back and think, do people value me for me, or do you value me just because of what I know? And if you've ever felt like that, first, I tell you that because I feel that way. I still feel that way. I get phone calls only when people want something. Very few times do people call me just to see how I'm doing. Not saying that for y'all to call me. That's not what I'm saying. My whole point is I want y'all to know that I care about you. If any of y'all know me, I give my email address out. We've talked. I want to help build y'all up because I understand what we do is sometimes a thankless job. Y'all are spending time at night doing this stuff. Some of y'all are getting beat up mentally, emotionally, spiritually when you go to your ministry. I want to at least try to encourage you to keep going. Honestly, be real. I've thought about quitting this whole thing multiple times this week because I'm like, what am I doing? Is this helping? But then I get on here and I have y'all say this stuff. And it's like, yeah, you know, people locally might not understand it, but at least I have y'all. So I appreciate that. And I just want to be able to help lift y'all up and build you up because what you're doing is important. Even if the people around you don't think it is, realize you are impacting more than just the people that you see on a daily basis. If you're helping the live stream, there are people who are seeing and hearing the word of God that they never would have if it wasn't for your dedication and interest in doing media ministry. So keep going. I always heard that the best thing in our community is that we all don't quit on the same day. I might feel like quitting, then somebody encourages me. That same person might feel like quitting. I'm not quitting that day, and we lift each other up. That's what it's all about. So I hope y'all have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, folks. Hope to see you on our roundtable. All that information is in the Facebook group, so that's why you got to join the Facebook group to get that information. And I think that's about it. Y'all have a good one. Love y'all, and we'll be seeing y'all in the next video, folks. Later.